Have you ever wondered why, even when you try to do everything right, sleep just won't come? You eat healthily, avoid coffee and sweets at night, maybe even drink a soothing tea, and yet you spend hours tossing and turning in bed, staring at the ceiling, while frustration and anxiety grow with every passing minute. What if I told you that one of the hidden villains in your fight against insomnia could be hiding in your fruit bowl? It seems counterintuitive, I know. We've been taught our whole lives that fruit is the symbol of health. But today I'm going to reveal the 7 fruits that, especially for people over 60, may be secretly sabotaging your ability to get a good night's sleep. This isn't a conversation to demonize food, far from it. It's a conversation to empower you. The power of knowledge, because when you understand how your body works, especially as we age, you can make decisions that align with your biology instead of fighting against it. Over the next few decades in my practice, I heard countless stories from men and women who, like you, were doing their best. They ate a fruit salad at night, thinking it was the lightest, healthiest choice, only to find themselves in a cycle of poor sleep and exhaustion. What they didn't know is that the body of a 65-year-old does not process sugar, even the natural sugar in fruit, the same way the body of a 25-year-old does. The rules of the game change. Let's explore this surprising truth together. I'll break down each of these 7 fruits, explaining the science behind why they can be problematic at night, using simple analogies to make it all make sense. And more importantly, we'll look at what's happening inside your body, in your digestive system, in your bloodstream, in your brain, when you consume them before bed. Believe me, by the end of our conversation, you'll have clarity you may never have had before about the direct connection between what's on your plate and the quality of your rest. The question that will accompany you throughout this video is, could the solution to your insomnia lie not in adding something new, but in removing the culprit that masquerades as a friend? Stay with me, because the answer to that question may be the key to finally regaining your peaceful nights. Before we dive into our list, it's crucial to understand a fundamental principle. Metabolism changes with age. Think of your metabolism as a fireplace. In your youth, that fireplace is an industrial furnace, capable of burning almost anything you throw at it, quickly and efficiently. As the decades pass, the fireplace becomes more selective. It still works beautifully, but it requires a more specific type of fuel and doesn't handle an overload of fuel very well, especially late at night. Sugar, even the natural sugar in fruit, fructose, is a fast-burning fuel. When you consume a large amount of sugar at night, you are essentially throwing a bunch of dry sticks into this calmer fireplace. The result? A quick burst of energy, a spike in blood sugar. Your pancreas kicks into action, releasing insulin to transport all that sugar to your cells. But what goes up must come down. After that spike comes the crash. And that drop in blood sugar in the middle of the night is an alarm signal for the body. It releases stress hormones, such as cortisol and adrenaline, to try to stabilize levels. And guess what cortisol and adrenaline do? They wake you up. They are your body's fire alarm system. So that harmless piece of fruit may be creating a roller coaster of blood sugar that kicks you out of deep sleep, leaving you awake at 2 a.m. with your heart racing, wondering why. Another factor is digestion. At night, your entire system, including your digestive system, should be slowing down, going into repair mode. Eating foods that are heavy to digest, whether because of their fiber content, acidity, or volume, forces your digestive system to work overtime. It's like asking an office staff to start a major construction project 5 minutes before quitting time. They won't be happy, and the work will be noisy and disruptive. This digestive noise can manifest as discomfort, gas, bloating, or acid reflux, all of which are declared enemies of a good night's sleep. With that foundation laid, let's begin our countdown. The 7th fruit on our list is watermelon. Oh, watermelon. So refreshing on a hot day, so seemingly light. But for an older person's sleep, it presents 2 major problems. The first is its high glycemic index. Despite being mostly water, the sugar in watermelon is absorbed very quickly by the body, leading to exactly that blood sugar roller coaster we just discussed. The second, and perhaps more obvious, is its extremely high water content. Eating a generous slice of watermelon at night is almost like drinking a large glass of water. This can overload your bladder, increasing the likelihood of nocturia, the need to get up to urinate during the night. Every time you wake up, you break your sleep cycle. Even if you fall back asleep quickly, you've interrupted the natural progression through the stages of sleep, robbing yourself of precious time in deep sleep and REM sleep, which are crucial for physical and mental repair. If this first revelation about watermelon has surprised you, imagine what's to come. So you don't miss the next piece of information that could literally change your nights, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and click the like button. It's a simple gesture, but it shows me that this conversation is valuable and important to you, and it motivates me to continue bringing you this kind of knowledge. Continuing our journey, the sixth fruit that may be interfering with your rest is pineapple. Pineapple is delicious and full of benefits, such as bromelain, an enzyme that aids digestion. However, when consumed at night, it can become a problem for two main reasons. The first is, again, sugar. Pineapple is quite sweet and can contribute to the blood sugar imbalance that we want to avoid at all costs before bedtime. But the most significant factor here is its acidity. Pineapple is one of the most acidic fruits. For many people, especially those prone to heartburn or gastroesophageal reflux, lying down after eating pineapple can be an invitation to disaster. When you are in a horizontal position, it is easier for stomach acid to rise up the esophagus, causing that uncomfortable burning sensation in the chest and throat. Not only does this make it difficult to fall asleep, but it can also cause micro-awakenings throughout the night, which you may not even remember in the morning, but which leave you feeling tired and drained. I remember one patient, let's call him Arthur, a vibrant 72-year-old man who prided himself on his healthy diet. He came to my office in despair. "Doctor," he said, "I don't understand. I eat a bowl of fresh fruit every night. It's my ritual, but I wake up with a burning sensation in my chest, and my sleep is terrible." After a detailed conversation, we discovered that his nightly bowl of fruit was often dominated by large pieces of fresh pineapple. I suggested he try removing pineapple from his evening routine for 2 weeks. The result was transformative. The burning disappeared, and he began sleeping through the night for the first time in years. Arthur's story perfectly illustrates how something we consider universally healthy can have a negative effect depending on the context, in this case, the time of day and individual sensitivity. Now let's move on to fruit number 5, oranges and other citrus fruits, such as grapefruit. Like pineapple, oranges are very acidic. The same risk of acid reflux applies here. But there's another layer to consider. Citrus fruits are often associated with energy and wakefulness. Think of a glass of orange juice in the morning. It's vibrant, invigorating. Part of that is psychological, but there's also a physiological basis. The smell and taste of citrus can be stimulating to the nervous system. Plus, although they don't contain caffeine, they can provide a quick burst of sugar that your body interprets as a signal to go, not slow down. Think of your brain as a control panel with switches. At night, you want to flip all the switches to the calm and rest position. Consuming an orange or a glass of orange juice in the evening is like walking up to that control panel and deliberately flipping the alert switch. It doesn't make sense, right? The body craves signals of relaxation before bed, not signals that the day is just getting started. So far, we've talked about watermelon, pineapple, and oranges. Are any of these fruits part of your nighttime ritual? I'm genuinely curious to hear about your experience. Leave a comment below. Which of these 3 fruits surprised you the most? Sharing your story may not only help you process this new information, but it may also light the way for someone else in this community who is facing the same struggle. We're halfway through our list, and things are starting to get even more interesting. The 4th fruit on our to avoid at night list is mango. Mango, known as the queen of fruits in many cultures, is incredibly delicious, but also incredibly dense in sugar. A single medium mango can contain over 45 grams of sugar. To put that into perspective, that's more sugar than most chocolate bars. Consuming this sugar bomb before bed sends your blood sugar into the stratosphere. The subsequent crash, as we've already discussed, is a classic trigger for cortisol-induced nighttime awakenings. In addition to sugar, mangoes are also high in fiber. Now, fiber is great for digestive health during the day, but at night, a large fiber load can put significant strain on your digestive system, which should be at rest. Digesting fiber-rich foods requires a lot of work, which can lead to gas, bloating, and a general feeling of heaviness that makes it difficult to relax enough to fall asleep. It's like eating a feijoada feast and then trying to take a peaceful nap. Your body is simply too busy working to truly rest. This reminds me of a patient, Maria, a 68-year-old retired teacher. She loved mangoes and saw them as a healthy treat. She ate a whole mango almost every night while watching television. Maria came to me feeling chronically fatigued. She said she slept but never felt rested. She couldn't understand why. We analyzed her diet and lifestyle, and the nighttime mango stood out. She was shocked. "But doctor, it's just a fruit." I explained to her about the sugar load and the digestive work. Skeptically, she agreed to replace her nighttime mango with a small handful of almonds, which are rich in magnesium and low in sugar. 3 weeks later, she returned to my office with a sparkle in her eyes that I hadn't seen before. "It's like someone changed the batteries in my body," she said. "I sleep deeply and wake up feeling truly rested." Maria's story is a powerful testament to how a small change, based on the right knowledge, can have a huge impact on quality of life. Now, fruit number 3, grapes. Small, easy to eat, and dangerously easy to overeat. A bowl of grapes seems like a light snack, but it's one of the most concentrated sources of sugar you can find in the produce aisle. Because of their small size, it's incredibly easy to consume hundreds of calories and dozens of grams of sugar without even realizing it. Each grape is a tiny capsule of sugar. Eating a bowl of them is like drinking a glass of fruit juice in terms of its impact on blood sugar. The glycemic roller coaster that follows is inevitable, and as we've already established, that volatility is the arch-enemy of stable sleep. In addition, the skin of grapes can be, for some individuals, difficult to digest, contributing to nighttime digestive noise. The problem with grapes isn't that 1 or 2 are bad for you, but that no one eats just 1 or 2. They are a snack that invites mindless consumption, and before you know it, you've consumed the equivalent of a sugary dessert, thinking you were making a healthy choice. The key here is awareness. Understand that even natural foods need to be consumed with intention and moderation, especially in the delicate period before sleep. So far, we've covered fruits that are problematic due to their water content, acidity, and, most importantly, their high sugar load. The pattern that emerges is clear. At night, an older person's body craves stability, not peaks and valleys. It needs signals of calm, not energy jolts or heavy digestive work. Sleep isn't an on-off switch. It's more like landing a plane. You need a long, smooth approach. You slow down, lower the landing gear, line up with the runway. The fruits we've mentioned are like unexpected gusts of wind during that final approach. They can destabilize the aircraft and force it to abort the landing, circling in the air for hours. By understanding and avoiding these nutritional gusts of wind, you give yourself a much better chance of making a smooth and peaceful landing in the land of deep, restorative sleep. And what we're about to discuss next, with the last 2 fruits on our list, will reinforce this idea in an even more surprising way. We are nearing the end of our list, and the last 2 fruits are perhaps the most treacherous because they are often actively recommended as healthy snacks, even at night. The number 2 fruit on our list is dried fruit. This includes raisins, dried apricots, dates, and figs. The logic here is simple but brutal. Dried fruits are fruits from which the water has been removed. What's left? Highly concentrated sugar and fiber. Think about it. You probably wouldn't eat 15 fresh apricots in one sitting, but it's incredibly easy to eat 15 dried apricots. When you do, you're consuming the sugar content of 15 fruits in a small handful. It's a fast-acting sugar bomb that will make your pancreas work overtime and set the stage for that midnight blood sugar crash we all want to avoid. I remember a study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine that found a direct correlation between high sugar consumption during the day, especially in the evening, and more fragmented sleep, with more awakenings and less time spent in deep, slow-wave sleep. Dried fruits, despite their healthy image, are essentially nature's candy. And you wouldn't eat a handful of candy before bed hoping to get a good night's sleep, would you? The same principle applies here. The high fiber content can also be a problem. A slower digestive system, like that of many older adults, may struggle to process this dense fiber load at night, leading to gas, cramps, and discomfort that will keep you awake. And now, the number one fruit. The fruit that, when I mention it to my patients, often elicits a reaction of shock and disbelief. The fruit you should avoid at night to protect your sleep is the banana. Yes, the banana. I know what you're thinking. But doctor, bananas are rich in potassium and magnesium, minerals known to aid in muscle relaxation and sleep. And you're absolutely right. They do contain these beneficial nutrients. However, the full story is more complex, which is why bananas rank first on our list of sleep saboteurs. First, bananas are still relatively high in carbohydrates and sugar. A medium banana contains about 27 grams of carbohydrates, with more than half of that being sugar. This can still contribute to a spike in blood sugar, although its resistant starch makes it a little slower than, say, mango. But the real hidden culprit in bananas is a compound called tyramine. Tyramine is an amino acid that can, in sensitive people, stimulate the release of norepinephrine, also known as noradrenaline. Norepinephrine is one of the brain's main stimulating neurotransmitters. It's a fight-or-flight hormone. It's what your brain releases when it needs to be alert, focused, and ready for action. Consuming a source of tyramine before bed is like giving your brain a little push on the gas pedal, just when you're trying to step on the brakes. As we age, the enzyme in our bodies that breaks down tyramine, monoamine oxidase, can become less efficient, making us more susceptible to its stimulating effects. So while you're eating that banana thinking the magnesium will help you relax, tyramine may be working behind the scenes, telling your brain to stay awake. It's the definition of a mixed message, and in the delicate dance of sleep neurochemistry, clarity is key. So there you have it. The 7 fruits: watermelon, pineapple, oranges, mangoes, grapes, dried fruit, and, most surprising of all, bananas. Can you see how complex it is now? It's not just about eating healthy, it's about understanding your body's biochemistry, the time of day, and the specific properties of each food. Trying to manage all of that, avoiding acidity, monitoring blood sugar, being aware of compounds like tyramine, making sure you're eating the right things at the right time, can feel like a full-time job. It can be overwhelming, and I completely understand if you're thinking, "That's all great, Doc, but how do I put it all together? Isn't there an easier, more integrated way to support my sleep without having to become a nutritionist overnight?" That's the right question to ask. And the answer is yes, there is a more direct path. After validating the complexity of applying all these tips in isolation, it's natural to seek a more convenient and integrated solution. An ideal solution for promoting deep, restful sleep in older adults should not only be about avoiding what is harmful, but also about actively providing the right signals to the body. What would be the criteria for a truly effective approach? First, it would need to help maintain blood sugar stability throughout the night, avoiding the peaks and valleys that wake us up. Second, it should send calming signals to the nervous system, decreasing fight-or-flight activity and promoting a state of deep relaxation without causing the artificial drowsiness and morning hangover that many medications cause. Third, rather than simply providing an external dose of melatonin, which can disrupt your body's natural production over time, it should provide the building blocks and cofactors, such as magnesium and certain amino acids, so your brain can produce its own melatonin in the right amount at the right time. Finally, all of this would need to be done gently, respecting the physiology of a mature body. I know how difficult and risky it can be to navigate the world of supplements and protocols on your own. It's a noisy and confusing market. That's why, as your trusted advisor on this health journey, I've done the research for you. For those seeking a reliable, integrated solution that incorporates exactly these principles, I've included a link in the description of this video and also in the first pinned comment. This link will take you to a protocol that I have personally evaluated and trust. It is designed to bring together the key elements we've talked about: supporting blood sugar balance, calming the nervous system, and promoting natural melatonin production in a synergistic, safe, and effective way. Think of it not as a shortcut, but as an expert guide, saving you the guesswork and risk of making mistakes so you can focus on what really matters: getting rest. Of course, and this is very important, every approach, no matter how natural, requires responsibility. Therefore, it is crucial to include a note of caution: who should take special care? Individuals with significant pre-existing medical conditions, especially chronic kidney or liver disease, should always consult their doctor before starting any new supplement or protocol. The same applies to anyone taking multiple prescription medications, especially anticoagulants, blood pressure medications, or diabetes medications. Interactions are possible, and safety should always be the #1 priority. My goal here is to educate and empower you with cutting-edge knowledge, but the partnership with your personal physician, who knows your complete health history, is irreplaceable. This path is about adding tools to your health toolbox, not discarding the medical advice that has kept you safe thus far. Use this knowledge as a starting point for an informed conversation with your healthcare provider. To wrap up our conversation today, let's recap the central idea. The fight against insomnia in midlife is rarely about a single cause. It's a complex web of factors, and diet plays a much more astute role than most people realize. We've learned today that healthy fruits can, due to their sugar, acidity, or specific compounds such as tyramine, become obstacles to a peaceful night's sleep when consumed at the wrong time. The solution isn't to fear fruit, but to be strategic. Enjoy it during the day when your metabolism is active and ready to use it for energy. In the evening, opt for signs of calm and stability. This shift in perspective alone can be revolutionary. It takes you out of the role of passive victim of insomnia and puts you in the driver's seat of your own health. You are no longer at the mercy of inexplicably bad nights. You begin to see the connections, to understand cause and effect. And that understanding is the first and most crucial step toward lasting healing. You no longer need to feel lost in the dark. There is a path forward paved with knowledge, small consistent changes, and the right tools to support your journey. If our conversation has brought you clarity, an aha moment, or a renewed sense of hope, please subscribe to the channel so we can continue this journey together. There is so much more to explore about how we can optimize our health and well-being in all stages of life. And please share this video. Think of a friend, family member, or neighbor who you know struggles with sleep. This information, which may seem so simple, could be the missing piece of their puzzle. It could be the gift of a peaceful night's sleep that they so desperately crave. By sharing this knowledge, you become part of the solution, spreading healing and relief. Thank you so much for trusting me with your time and attention today. I wish you nights of deep rest and days filled with vibrant energy. Sleep well.